add value to your market, or even change the world. So all business strategy, whether it's product strategy, whether it's operation strategy, and all those other things that we like to call strategy, they should ideally flow from the vision, because the vision is what inspires you to come to work every day, and it talks about what the world will look like after you've changed it. So we're talking about a long-term goal. Tumesema it can be even 10 years away. So a good vision should probably take you 10 years and up, yeah? So one of the things that will tell you if you have a good vision status, a good vision statement, is that it needs to be ambitious. The goal needs to be very big. It needs to be aspirational. So inamaanisha something that even if you don't hit it, but if you actively work towards it with the kind of results that you're seeing, you will be happy because you're getting closer to your goal. And then it needs to be something that is easily memorable from not only for you, but for your teams and potentially all your other stakeholders. So for Safaricom currently, is to transform beyond being a telco company to being a purpose-led technology company. So that is something that is very succinct. Everybody working in the organization, wanajua, we are moving from being a telco company, not necessarily moving, but because they'll still continue to offer those services, but they're moving towards technology. So if you're an employee, it means you need to start thinking about your suitability to work in Safaricom. Are you tech literate? If you're not tech literate, then it means you probably need to start upskilling. That is if you want to still continue working at Safaricom and the likes. So it affects all these other things. For Shell is to power progress with more and cleaner energy solutions, not just for today, but also for the future. So that means they need to innovate. Their product departments need to innovate and find better ways and cleaner energy solutions. The other one for Twiga is to transform African retail by streamlining supply chains while connecting consumers, vendors, and suppliers in the most efficient ways possible. Number one, they're transforming the supply chain through efficient ways possible. So they're not saying we're going to transform it by doing this, by doing this, by doing this. They just know that it needs to be efficient and it needs to connect the producer, the distributor, and the final consumer. So a great vision statement is something that is motivational. Number one, it does not talk about the tactics, which is what I'm saying. It does not prescribe how you're going to get to that vision. And it does not dictate the how, because as we mentioned, there are different ways to getting to a final goal. So if you look at a world in which anybody can create the future, which is what the Moringa School's current vision, if another company was to use a similar vision and they're in a different business model, they could also potentially do it through different products and the likes, yeah? So, which is what is talking about, there should be many parts of getting to your desired outcomes for your customers and your company. And that is what essentially product development and product management is all about. Are there any questions in relation to these slides and how somebody can potentially come up with a clear and strong vision? All right, exercise time before we, let me share an example before we go for Safaricom. Yeah, so when Safaricom was a telco, yeah, and they launched M-Pesa. So we're looking at M-Pesa, the product strategy for M-Pesa, yeah? And if you remember the purpose that Safaricom had set up for itself, let's go a bit back. And we want to see how it shows up in M-Pesa. So they want to create opportunities for Kenyans to be part of the growth story by empowering them with the right tools for economic growth. Yeah. And so they launched M-Pesa. So if you remember the days of M-Pesa, ikianzanga, usually for me to start transacting, I need to find an M-Pesa agent. So I'll go to the M-Pesa agent I will give him my money. So let's say I have 5,000 Kenya shillings that I want to send up country. I will give him that 5,000 shillings, and they load my line with the 5,000 shillings. And then once that money is in my account, I can choose to send it to whoever I want to send it to. The other way was I could go to the agent. Maybe I don't have a phone, but I have an ID. I go to the agent with my ID. I say, deposit money to this mobile number. So that money is deposited directly to the person's number. When I have this money in my account, I can choose to do a number of different things. I can choose to withdraw it. So I can either choose to withdraw it through going to an agent, giving them their details, saying this is how much I want to withdraw. And later on, they even added that to ATMs, where you can, as long as you have your mobile phone with you, you can actually withdraw from an ATM without necessarily going to an agent. Or I can choose to make not withdraw that money, but actually transact with it. So that means buying data, buying voice, which is what some of the services that they had at the time. And then they started doing a number of different things. So instead of working with money to the agent and knowing how risky that can potentially be, is there a way that we can integrate banks? Is there a way that I can actually move money from my bank to my phone without necessarily going through an agent? So that is now where they started integrating the other financial services. So from now, you don't just need to go to an agent, but you can actually request for money from your bank to your M-Pesa wallet. And then now, when the recipient has the money in their wallet, instead of just choosing to transact or to withdraw, they can also deposit money in their bank account. And potentially, because their bank account is now connected, they can do these other services. So you can shop online. Some payment gateways or some vendors, they do not acknowledge M-Pesa, but they acknowledge things like Visa transactions. So by being able to transfer money from my M-Pesa to the bank account, it means I'm able now to use the bank as the payment gateway to all these other services as well. But also M-Pesa has now prevented or has helped people to be more secure in terms of, like, instead of carrying money to the supermarket, I just go and I pay um, through the facility. And then later on, they started to see, okay, what else can we do? So they introduced the financing. So sometimes, whether you're in business, whether you are you're an individual, there are cases whereby an emergency has come up, or money is needed like right away, but you don't have that money. So they saw an opportunity there as well. So decided to they introduced an overdraft facility, Fuliza, which we are all aware about, where you can borrow and complete a transaction, but you can pay back. And then much more recently, there is the partnership that they have with the Hustler Fund. And then there's also another one with the KCB M-Pesa. So you see that originally it was just to send and receive money and buy M-Pesa products and services. Later on, they started integrating other financial institutions, so banks and the likes. And then now they started opening that up to general trade and commerce, so buying things in the supermarket, other locations and the likes. And then now they started also introducing things like Fuliza and the Hustler Fund and the like, so that you can get financing. But the overall goal is empowering Kenyans with the tools to contribute and participate in the growth of the economy. Does that make sense? In terms of like how that vision is showing up in their, how the overall purpose and vision is showing up in their product journey. Thank you, Sasha. Maingi, Agnes, Maggie. Thanks, Agnes. Maggie, you with us? Aya, sawa sawa. Cool. So now I want to do, before I go into the product life cycle, I want us to do a short exercise. Maggie, I have a question for you. Do you currently have a vision for your business? Did you just find yourself in a situation whereby you needed to make money and so you started a business?
Okay, my main goal is to fill in the gap. Like in Kenya, most people, you know about the river road thing. Most people do sell the counterfeit. So I'm trying to fill in the gap and enlighten more people about authentic products, how to differentiate between authentic and the fake ones. Because some products, let's say like the supplements, some do need the verification. So you have to enlighten them and you have to sell them. For any ingestible, it's a bit risky for health purposes. So you have to enlighten your clients and inform them more about each supplement. Most supplements are verifiable.
Okay. So kidogo tu. All right. So I want for us to take a crack at developing a product vision for Maggie's business. Kidogo tu. Using some of the elements that we've talked about. So kidogo tu. Company vision is Maggie, what is your business currently called? Maggie? Is Maggie in the call? Maggie?
Just name it anything.
Yeah,
Nipatie jina yote.
so industry ni beauty. Aya, alafu products zenye uko nazo ulisema kuna supplements. What other things do you have?
The skincare ointments, kuna oil, toners, lotion, cream, bar soaps.
Okay. Batteries. Let me put it like that. So vision. So number one. So which pain do you think you're currently solving? So you've talked about counterfeits.
The main problem is authenticity. You know, most people do sell the replicas because of the China effect. Yeah.
So and why is this an issue? Is it that with the replicas they're not giving the same results?
Yes,
is it
definitely.
That,
yeah.
So what happens when a person is using counterfeits?
Let's say like there is a supplement I sell from USA. If you take the counterfeit, you're not certain about the ingredients that they use to make the counterfeit product. Some do cause, let's say, kidney defects, liver defects, because you cannot ascertain of what the ingredients they used in production. Yeah.
So health issues as a result, yeah. So
Yes.
health issues, and maybe even if they don't have any issues to do with health, maybe there are other things.
They don't have results.
So no results. So maybe mtu amekuwekea maji. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No results. And then maybe you're not getting like that brand feeling. Unajua tuseme nikaa kutembea na ukijua ulikuwa umevaa nini Gucci fake.
Yeah, it's the same like let's say perfume. Ukinunua perfume fake utanuka poa asubuhi, jioni utanukia fani. You understand? The same with the lotion. Kuna smell, kuna color. Yeah.
Okay. Sawa. So this is the pain una nini, the pain that the customer is experiencing, yeah.
Yeah.
So because you are not creating a product, yeah.
No, I only deal with other brands. I'm not only a distributor.
Okay. So model, so business model, distribution. Do you see yourself doing that for the next 10 years, Ama? Do you think it's going to change?
I see myself doing more
Mm-hmm.
because apparently I've partnered with some companies, so
Mm-hmm.
I see myself doing more.
Mm-hmm. What is more?
More of distribution, not my own brand, not coming up with my own brand.
Okay, okay. So you'll
Yeah.
still be doing distribution, but utakuwa
Yeah.
producer. Okay,
Yeah. Let's say like Clintons.
okay. Sawa sawa.
Yeah.
All right. Sawa sawa. Alafu so needs tulisema products that work. I think that was the key thing. So ikisema itatoa acne, yeah, and things like that, yeah. If it says it will make your skin fair, it will make your skin fair. So that is what the
Yes,
customer
it
needs.
should deliver. Yes.
Okay, so it should deliver, and probably if okay, so there's the needs. What that customer needs. Motivations. So the customer motivations could potentially be look good, look and feel
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then hii ingine inaitwaje? Could also be brand, because if they're trying to avoid counterfeits, inamaanisha they need to be assured that they're getting the quality, ndio?
Yes, and the brand there is quality.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the health aspect.
Mm-hmm. Health,
Yeah.
right. So and health can both be physical and mental, eh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wasikunywe Viagra.
Maingi umesikia hiyo? Lakini Maingi ako na mtoto, so ako tu sawa. Sasa motivations, aspirations. So aspirations is probably what they are trying to achieve without even necessarily knowing. So maybe they want to get to a place whereby they will no longer need to use supplements. I believe sidhani kuna mtu anaweza taka kutumia supplements milele, si ndio?
Yes.
Maybe lasting beauty. Maybe if I can put it like that. Confidence in their appearance. Though kuna watu wengine pia wanaweza taka kukuwa influencers. Hatujui. Unakumbuka tuliongea juu ya nini? Tuliongea juu ya different customer segments.
Yes.
Yeah, so unapata sometimes unapata kuna mtu anaanza hair journey, somebody starting their skincare routine, and then that becomes a business for them. So you never know, you might find that maybe unadhani watu wananunua, but maybe unapata pia wako na other things. So ile part ya product strategy is to also help us understand why the people are buying from you. So at some point you'll need also to do that research. So now that we understand what Maggie is trying to do, so she's in the beauty industry. She currently sells products like supplements, skincare, bar soaps, lotions, and the likes. Yeah. The pain that the
Yes.
customer has is dealing with the counterfeits and inauthentic products, which sometimes results into health issues, things like kidneys failing because of vitu kama mercury and the likes. Sometimes unapata umekiwa tu regular foodstuffs ndio umekiwa kama ingredients, so unapaka kwa uso, no results. Even sometimes unapata unakuwa na even more breakout, skin yako inaribika ama ina change color. It could potentially be maybe it gets rid of the acne, but it also bleaches you. So now you don't have acne, but it has also introduced another problem. So that could also be an issue. Number three, when you're going to get, let's say, a Fenty product, alafu unapata kumbe ulibuy Fenty with an eye, and that is not what you signed up for. So that so that makes you feel like you've been robbed because maybe you paid a similar price point for it.
Yeah, true.
Um, and as part of needs, they just need products that work. What is motivating this person to actually go and buy from you is because they want to look and feel good like everybody else. They want to buy from a brand that they recognize, and they also have some considerations for their health and in terms of like both physically how they feel and look, but also mentally they know that if they take care of this pain point, they'll have a lot of confidence in terms of like how they feel and how they need. Um, how Maggie is helping to solve these core customer areas is through a distribution. So she has probably identified products that work, that do what they need to do, products that potentially um, have lasting solutions, so they don't just need work for now, but like once they've sorted you out, they've given you the hormonal balance that you're looking for, you're sorted for the long term. Ama hata kama utabidi utumie, maybe you can use maybe once every 3 months ama once every 4 months and the likes, instead of maybe being on that medication for the entirety of the duration. So taking into account that we've talked about mission and vision, yeah, and we've also talked about what makes a great vision statement. So I would want for us to have a working session and try to come up with a vision statement for Maggie's business. So that is the exercise for today's session. So I will sit back, I will unmute, I will mute myself, and then I will hear the kind of conversations that you're coming up with. Sasa, remember that it needs to be ambitious, aspirational, and memorable. So hii inamaanisha it needs to be short and succinct, but the goal needs to be big. It needs to be very clear and needs to be motivational as well. Sawa sawa. But it shouldn't talk about the tactics. So today, Maggie might decide that instead of being a distributor, maybe apate currently, I was sharing with Maggie, there have been changes in the law in terms of like shipping products per kg. So now you need to actually declare the value, which means potentially more taxes on business people and the likes. So Maggie, that might potentially also eat on your profits, and even maybe reduce the number of shipping suppliers that you work with. And that might also potentially affect the cost of your product, which means it might disrupt your business model. So does that mean that because you can't distribute, does that mean that you stop? Or does that mean that maybe potentially you could learn how these other people are doing it so that you're able to do it locally and create a new brand of your own instead of coming up with a counterfeit? Maybe you create a new brand of your own that can give the same results. So the mission talks about the tactics. So at least that is not what we are talking about now. We're just talking about the vision, because there are many ways of getting to that vision. So I believe I've given you good guides, but allow Sasha, you will be the facilitator. Today, Maingi is the one who's taking the notes, and then Agnes is guiding. Agnes will participate, and Maggie you're also participating. So Sasha, take it away. Nini iko hapo hivyo. You can put, every person can put, you have access. I need to see you guys kwa hii nini, kwa hii document. So I'm sharing it in the chat. Please join.
Mark, I'm using my phone. I'll just use the screen projected. I need to
Okay.
download it. Yeah.
Okay. So no worries. Oh, so Agnes, you can't take notes today, yeah?
Yeah, sorry. Then.
No, actually, Maingi is the one who's taking notes. Maingi, you're the one who's taking notes. Sasha, facilitate us.
Okay, I didn't expect that, but I'll take a stab at it.
Mm-hmm.
To confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Okay, all right. So from the, I don't know, if, Mange, are you ready, Agnes, Maggie?
And even instead of taking notes, maybe people can just use people can use sticky notes. So
Yeah.
yeah, so if you want a sticky note on the side, you can just click on it. Am I sharing the right screen? Let me.
Yeah.
Okay, sawa. So Sasha, maybe you can give unaweza onesha watu vile people can use sticky notes.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I just wanted to confirm if everyone is ready. So I believe we have all the guiding points around creating a vision statement. So think of words that are, they sound ambitious, because a goal has to be ambitious, right? Not out of this world and unrealistic, but achievable. Think about words that are also motivational and aspirational. So I don't know if you guys can see the screen. So the sticky note, it's where I'm highlighting. It's just under the icon for the arrow. So you can just add a sticky note, and then which we jot down the examples of a vision statements we are thinking about for Maggie's beauty business. Alafu, in a few minutes after everyone has given the example, we'll reconvene and just discuss what each person's contribution is, and then now narrow down to the best, or like the top vision statement that resonates with Maggie's business and goals. Is that fine? For Agnes, because you're on your phone, you can type in the chat box. Please let me know if you're able to create a sticky note and just type examples of vision statements. Maggie, are you able to do that on your end? And Maingi?
I'm also using my phone. Let me try.
Okay. If you are using your phone, then you can just type in the chat box, and then I'll copy paste on a sticky note. Maingi, what about you?
Either is fine. Wacha nifikirie kwanza nitaiweka anyway.
Aye, sawa. I think let's take 2 minutes to think, alafu just share. So we'll be back here at 6:53. Thanks, Maingi. We're waiting for you, Aggie and Maggie. Have 30 more seconds, and then we discuss our thought process around the vision statement. Okay. Aggie, how far are you?
Sorry, for my case, I'm unable to type. Can I read it out to you?
Yes, you can read it. I'll type.
Okay, just a minute.
Oh, sorry, Mark, I'm not including you. Sorry. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Maggie, I'm waiting for you to read out. I'll just assist you with typing it.
Okay, mine is to distribute highly innovative products to offer beauty solutions.
To distribute highly innovative products to
offer beauty solutions.
Offer beauty solutions. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me request Aggie. I'm bado nafikiria. I want to request you to just read out. Yeah, I think you're done. To read out the vision, the example of the vision statements here.
All right. All? Sasha, should I read all?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the first one is to distribute highly innovative products to offer beauty solutions. To make top quality and authentic beauty products accessible across Africa. To be the leader in beauty and general wellness of the African persons while promoting a culture of positivity and inclusivity. A world where everyone looks and feels as good as they imagine it in their mind. Wow. To transform Kenya's beauty industry by offering superior products that promote authenticity.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So can I just pick one or two people volunteers? You can select which one you think suits Maggie's business, like which vision resonates with Maggie's business goals, and tell us why. Since our facilitator has been so quiet, Mark, kick us off.
I will comment at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maingi.
Okay. I'll go with mine.
Mm-hmm.
To be the leader in beauty and general wellness of the African person while promoting a culture of positivity and inclusivity. So, make a very broad and very ambitious. Given that we know the niche she's catering to didn't tie us to just the Kenyan market, but African person, blacks in general. Okay, beauty and general wellness cuts across the supplements, skincare, toiletries, both physical and mental health, while ensuring that the culture's positivity and inclusivity go on. So Apple, I was looking at now from the motivations to be positive, to feel good, to so be healthy. So that's how I just looked at it and came up with that. So a very broad statement, no clear tactics on how to go about it, but very ambitious statement. So teacher at the end will correct us where
Okay,
improvement.
I like that. Thank you, Mangi, for sharing. Agi?
I'll also go with mine. In this case, we're looking for authenticity. So mine is to transform Kenya's beauty industry by offering superior products that promote authenticity. And superior here covers the quality of the product as well. So we're looking at authenticity and superiority in terms of how people feel, how what kind of products they are buying, and then we're also looking at not only within our location but within Kenya, so very broad and reach as many people as possible to promote how they feel within themselves.
Okay, thank you. So for you, we can say, I don't know, maybe Mark can correct us at the end, but it's aspirational. So aspirational in the sense that it's step by step. So first we conquer the Kenyan markets, and then maybe later on we can expand across other markets. Okay, that's just a point I've pitched there, but Mark can correct us whether, like, can we build a vision statement that's aspirational in that sense, like step by step, and then you change it after a certain period. Okay, and now on to Maggie. Please share your thought process.
Okay, for my case, I would say I'll stick with mine because I would like to distribute products that are safe to use, and I would like to add value of authenticity to the market by distributing products that are most effective.
Okay, all right. So yours was around highly innovative. So I have a question. What do we mean here by highly innovative products?
Let's say for each brand, how do I narrow down? Let me say like the Ambicare. There's a brand called Ambi. By innovative, I mean there are some products that need some upgrade. For the Ambi, it's been there for like 50 years. They've been producing their products with hydroquinone of 2%, which is approved by FDA, but it's not good for human use. So apparently they just upgraded and they removed the ingredients for safety use. So that's what I mean by highly innovative.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So thanks, Maggie, for your contribution. Another question now to Mark. For a business vision statement or a product vision statement, does it necessarily have to communicate to the customer what we are trying to do, or you can
Sasha,
just
I lost you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Another question. So for a vision statement, does it have to does it have to make sense to the customer, or you can just sit with the business owner, the stakeholders of the business, or like the people who work for the business? Does it have to once the customer sees it, do they need to be able to kind of like interpret it and understand what you're trying to say? Yeah, so
Agnes, what do you think before I answer?
Sorry, Aki nimezuba kidogo. Do you mind repeating the question?
So for vision statement, does it necessarily have to make sense to the customer? Like once the customer reads it, can they tell exactly what your business is trying to do and what's the end goal, where it's going? Or it can just sit with the business stakeholders, that is like the CEO, the staff, the stakeholders, and all that.
I would say the customer has to understand it. Like, why should I invest in this business? I'm just giving an example of Moringa, a world where anyone can create their future. So if I'm coming to Moringa, it means I'll definitely have something after going through the courses. So it definitely has to make sense to me why I'm investing in this business or why I'm spending money.
Okay.
All right. All right. I think it depends with who you're asking. But the way I'm looking at it, we've said that. Sota mute tu kidogo.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. We've said that a vision statement, number one, it's something that's memorable. Number two, it's aspirational. And number three, it's motivational. Yeah. So if you have a business and you have people who are working for you, it means they are meeting a certain customer need. Yeah. So that means this vision needs to take into account the specific customer pain point that they're trying to solve, because it speaks about how the world will change after the transformation is complete. So how will it look like for the customer? So if you are talking about the customer, then it only justifies that it speaks to what that customer is trying to achieve for themselves, because we are talking about needs, pain points, aspirations, what this person is trying to achieve, and the like. So I believe if you have a vision that, like Agnes has mentioned, that can speak to a specific customer, then it makes it easier for the people who are working in the team to get closer to achieving that target for you. So I think it just works better if everybody is able to understand what the objective or the North Star is.
Okay, thank you, Mark. All right, so I think I'll share my pick and then we hand it over to Mark to guide. So for me, yes, I had written my own vision statement, but I'm leaning more towards Mindy's suggestion because I feel like the statement is motivational, it's aspirational. Yeah, it's aspirational and very motivational, both for the customer and even for the team that will be working behind Maggie's beauty business. For me, like the words such as, like beauty in general, wellness, it covers like the products and services that Maggie's beauty business offers. And then the who, it's very like segmented because I feel like Maggie is trying to solve a problem around like authenticity and quality products. So we're importing so many like fake things that are affecting the African people. It's like people don't think we deserve like the top and the best of the best. So for me, that highlight of just talking about Africa or the African person, I think it's very ambitious on like how Africa could transform in terms of like having quality and the best of the best. Then lastly, around positivity and inclusivity, for me, I'm just thinking like it's not just serving my outer beauty, but once I interact with these products and services, I feel good inwards and outwards, and it's not just for me, it's for everyone. Yeah. So for me, that would be the vision statement I'd pick for this beauty business. So I'll hand it over back to you, Mark, from here.
All right. Thank you guys for this. I think this has been it's been a wonderful exercise to do